The blue Jag we had, one that engine failed, problem child.
Yep.
I don't want to deal with it. I'm probably sending him to boarding school.
He's off.
Or sending him away somewhere else.
To the scrap.
The green car. Yeah.
I'm scrapping it. Yeah, I'm scrapping my child. I can't be bothered with him anymore.
He's just too naughty. He messed up once, so I'm getting rid of him.
Yeah, I sold him. Hello, and welcome to the 29th Cars Rule Everything Around Me podcast with myself, Edwin, William to my left, and behind the camera,
hello,
Benjamin. Wow, zesty.
That was a bit of... I thought that as it happened.
Crazy zesty one.
Quite tough to
at the beginning of every Cars Rule Around Me podcast, Rule Everything Around Me podcast, we ask, do cars rule everything around us, or do they ruin everything around us? William.
It's just rule.
It's a rule.
No, it hasn't been that long since the last one. No reason to ruin.
Wow, that's
my first single that comes out will be called "No Reason to Ruin."
You know what? We might need to do a T-shirt that's C.R.E.A.M, but then each song we've got a song of quotes.
Album, okay, yeah.
Each song is a quote. No reason to ruin. Number one.
Two rules and a ruin.
2 rules and a ruin.
Oh, 2 ruins and a rule.
Yeah.
3 ruins.
That's the B-side.
The 3 ruins. The 3 rules.
So he's a rule.
No. What else? What can I think of? The green Jag that sits behind us. He has been such. He's been. We were talking about this earlier in children terms.
Yep.
The blue car, the blue Jag we had, one that engine failed. Problem child.
Yep.
I don't want to deal with it. I'm probably sending him to boarding school.
He's off.
Or sending him away somewhere else.
To the scrap.
The green car. Yeah.
I'm scrapping it. Yeah, I'm scrapping my child. I can't be bothered with him anymore.
He's just too naughty. He messed up once, so I'm getting rid of him.
Yeah, I sold him.
But a green one, cheaper, lower miles. He's green.
Things you don't want to say about your children.
And we've had a couple of jobs that were not big jobs, but annoying jobs, and it's just work.
He's just going.
We had a fuel pipe issue. Just replaced the pipe. The brake pipe issue was the biggest one, but didn't really present a huge issue. What else we did? We fitted an intake and everything we've done to it. It's just gone. Yeah,
he's just happy.
Oh, I'm just going to do that. That's nice.
That's really easy.
That's nice. We did take the back boxes off.
Yeah, that's the best part that we did.
Part of me thought about this before the podcast about starting it up live, but I don't think it's a good idea.
That's so you won't have seen that, but you will see that in the finale episode because this you may see behind you. He's got no exhaust on.
He's got no exhaust
for very good reason.
It's very, very loud,
and it's good.
It's great
in the greatest way.
Yeah.
So it's a rule for you.
It's overall.
But then,
hello, rule or ruin. It is a ruin today because, as you may have noticed this morning, I was about half an hour late to work.
Which is
That's interesting.
It's very unlike you, Ben.
Yeah, usually I try and get here on time. Well, what happened was I went out to my X5. Today is, don't know what day it is, but Tuesday. Over the weekend, I drove the Clear all weekend. It was lovely weather. It was fantastic.
That's great to hear. You know what? That's great to hear from Ben.
It's nice.
Really, truly quite pleasant. And then I parked my cars. I don't have a driveway, so I parked them down the road. Walked down the road, bag in hand. Early in the morning, I'm thinking, oh, nice, get an X5, drive to Reading. Get an X5. What I like to do is open the door, turn it on so it's idling for 30 seconds or so.
People explaining to aliens how cars work.
No,
what I like to open the door, get in, start the key.
What we do is we give you the car.
No, I wasn't in the car, is what I'm saying. So I stand by that, turn it on, and I walk around the car and put my bag on the back seat. That's what I do every morning.
You walk around the car
That's
every morning.
Interesting.
Okay, anyway, that's what I do. I turned the key and it went click. And I went, ooh, that's a tough one. What's going on there? Battery's dead, which is odd because it's been maybe 3 days.
This does solidify our position on Ben's ruins being flat batteries,
the smallest things,
maybe a flat tire, possibly just not like just.
Oh, he's not happy.
You know what? But hang on,
no, it's good. It's good to have this scope.
Just because other people have problems, Will, doesn't mean that mine aren't valid. Okay.
Not all disabilities are visible.
No, but it wasn't a big deal in the end. But I was then like, okay, I'm worried because also that's a new battery. That's maybe 2 months older battery. So
did you leave something on?
Surely you left something
on. What did I leave on?
I don't know, mate.
Lights.
That's a question for you.
No, you got auto lights.
No, nothing was left on. And also, it wasn't like I
drew tunes on.
Obviously, I mean, he's a big battery, so it take a while to charge, I guess. But I'd driven it 100 miles home, parked it up, had the weekend, came back. So it had a big run. So I had to walk back up to my house, get my keys to my Clio, then find my Clio, move my Clio in front of it, jump start it, get in the car and come in. And I was late. And
you jumped it with the Clio?
Clio
said, whoa!
Clio was actually best jumping car, genuinely. It jumps anything. Just immediately.
What about a fence?
Well, it probably would with a big enough ramp. So basically, that's my ruin. It's not a big ruin, but for a minute I was in panic stations.
A petit ruin.
Yes.
Okay, nice.
A little one for the week.
Yeah. I'm going to say it's a rule.
Okay.
Because on Saturday, just after the podcast, the day after the podcast that we just recorded, I said, you know what, screw it. I loaded up the trailer in the Cayenne. I drove up to Liverpool to pick up my second E36, the second white E36. Now, Ben doesn't actually know about this yet because I only discovered it on the weekend. Ben,
yes,
you may remember this. I don't know if you will. Cast your mind back to car throttle days.
Oh, tough times.
Tough times. Do you remember a time when we were at, I think potentially this is your garage, where an E36 came up that was so perfect that I said to everyone, I have to drop everything and drive up to near Liverpool to go and try and buy it.
Roughly, yeah.
Do you vaguely remember that?
I vaguely remember that.
And do you remember what happened?
You didn't buy it?
So it was sold. I tried to message the guy. I said, I'll come up this afternoon. He said, no, someone's coming.
Yeah.
It's sold. Turns out that car that I bought was that car.
Is that guy?
It is.
Then do you know it's fate? That's
exactly.
actual fate.
It's the car that got away.
Wow.
I knew when I bought it, when I was bidding on it, that everything was similar. I was like, it has all the same spec. And then I couldn't remember the number plate. When I got it, I looked, it had coilovers, which wasn't mentioned in the advert, and they were these really rare, not in a good way, like cheap, bad coilovers that other one had. And I was like, hold on, this might be the car. Scrolled all the way back on WhatsApp, found the advert, P190 ADD, same car.
Wow.
So the car that got away, I was literally driving the whole way home, like, just chuffed.
That's
just over
nice,
the moon.
actually. Because the amount of cars, how many cars have you wanted to look at and you're like, this is perfect?
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe it's been fate, as in like it's a good thing you missed out on
you missed it.
But you look at an advert for a car and you're like, that's perfect. You message them and they go, someone's coming tomorrow. Do you remember when I bought the X5 that Ben owns now?
The other one, yeah.
When there was a black X5. It had the wide arches, it had the wheels, it had everything, and it was black. And I messaged the guy, I was like, this is perfect. This had a gearbox rebuild, it had everything.
You just messaged him? No. So a guy gets a ping on his Facebook Marketplace. This is perfect.
I was like, I will come today. And he was like, someone else is coming today. And then you're part of you's like, if that car's genuinely good,
it's gone. Yeah.
And then I got a message that evening that went, it's sold, mate.
And if it's not, you're like, well, why didn't they buy it?
Didn't it?
What stopped them?
I'm not interested no more.
Yeah.
Obviously not perfect, is it?
And then the best thing was, I found that while looking through ads, because I basically looked through Jack, Joy and I's conversation history. It's just us sending E36s back and forth. Nice. I found a screenshot of an E36 that was from 2022 that was J11 MLJ for sale. GMLJ, the other E36 I own. And I said, and it was completely stock and lovely, and it was £1,000. And I sent a screenshot saying, ooh, white loon. And Jack said, are you going to buy it? And I went, nah, better one will come along.
Tough.
And then I bought that car after it had been ruined by someone.
Nice.
But no, overall, it's a rule. I bought it. That car's clean. For an E36, it's clean.
So if Ben woke up with a full charge today, we would have been...
Ben, mate, come on. Next week, mate. I want a nice, clean game.
I'm truly quite worried.
Get the X5 on a trickle charger. It's a supercar, mate.
That's fair.
Just tucking it away for the summer.
Chuck it in the garage, the rest of them. The one thing that I was going to say about that is that you now can't ever sell that car because it's fate. Whereas
it's tough.
You were saying that you don't know which one you're going to keep. And
it's a new one.
You got to keep. Well, you have to because it's fate. Because would you do that? God has gifted you this car. You're going to spite him.
Would I spit in his face?
You're going to laugh in his face and say,
or would you throw it back in his face?
Oh, I'd throw it back for him. And I go, you know what I'd say? I'd say, Mr. President and or God, I've bought another. There's been a 36. There hasn't. Don't worry. Oh. There will be.
Probably one you've already seen.
Well, there is actually 3 36s.
You have got 3.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't drive any of them.
Also, just a quick aside, on the screen, playing today, Blur.
I had no idea about the Mark II Focus RS.
So many good cars in this game.
Only ever played the demo.
Oh, this was, you know what, I'm not, what do you call it, a Mario Kart type guy.
Arcade type B.
Yeah, I like car games. But this was one of the best car games. It was so good. Also to note, there is I would say upwards, would you agree, maybe 7,000 to 8,000 people outside right now?
Yes.
Literally hundreds of people outside doing things, cleaning cars, working on cars.
Because we are going for a curry.
Yes, we're doing like a big get-together of everyone that works in the communal companies.
Yeah.
So everyone is here right now. So if you hear noises in the background, don't worry. Don't let the bed bugs bite. It's not a monster under your bed. It's just the background noise.
It could be.
If you're driving, don't worry. It's not a suspension knock or your engine dying.
It's just Robin pressure washing a car outside.
It's not the air vanishing from one of your tyres.
What do we have first on the roster?
Now, we got a little tiny bit of news. Ferrari just announced a 296 Speciale.
Ooh.
And hold up, so they've just returned to a name that they said not that long ago they really had, but
one from the archives 7 years ago.
It's a cool name. So this is now, it's rear-wheel drive, 8.
Because the 296 is, when I say, okay, how many is it? 700, 800 horsepower? Something ridiculous. But it still looks like a baby Ferrari, if you see what I mean. It looks like he's not supposed to be that serious. So are there any photos?
Hold on.
Because I'm going to keep it... Whoa, he's quite angry.
It looks a little bit SF90-esque.
Yeah, exactly.
868 horsepower, and it's rear-wheel drive. So that is Ferrari's most powerful ever. Lies.
It's just not true.
It's not true. But just mental that they're going... Ferrari now, they're just going, do you want just 800 horsepower?
Yeah, just 6, but it's got millions.
From the back, you just die if you want.
Yeah, it's all instant. It all comes on instantly.
Speaking of... There has also been a video going around of a man. Now, I think it's the original one's in Portugal, but in actual fact, I think it's Monaco. The Ferrari F40 doing skids on the roundabout.
Yeah,
and it, I believe, is the owner because I saw a subsequent video of him doing just drifting on a road. It is the gentleman from Monaco who is a car dealer, and he's a long-haired, grey-haired man.
Okay, Jesus.
If he is, I'm converted.
Okay.
He trades supercars and hypercars, but drives the absolute piss out of them. Have you ever seen? There's a video of a Carrera GT sliding around the Monaco hills, like doing big skids.
Yes, I think so.
It's him.
Okay.
If you've seen an SLR McLaren doing skids,
it's
those
him. Video. Okay.
It's always him. So I believe the man doing there. Have a look it up. He was doing skids around a roundabout, sustained roundabout skids.
Who's the McLaren F1 skidder on a roundabout? Remember that one?
Yes, that is
somewhat recent.
I think that was what's called car? Fanch's car, I think. It was F1 Joy. I can't remember.
I don't know, but that was cool.
That was very cool. That was Power Slide Lover that did the skids, or Chasseurs Cowboy.
Power Slide Lover. That is a name I haven't heard in a long
classic.
time.
There's lots of you know what? There's just lots of rich guys doing stuff in cars that I'd love to be.
If you're going to be rich, just film it.
Do some skids about it.
If you're going to be rich and dumb, film it.
We love to see it.
Film it. Let the pause see.
Yeah, that's what I felt looking at the F40. I was going, never. Just never in my life. So that's Ferrari news.
That's
of the week.
Ferrari, and then our only other piece of news is some of your news. It's Brabus Island.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it, but just it's kind of a meme. But Brabus, I believe, are building an island.
They're building an island.
I believe the island has been created. It's in Dubai.
They haven't gone full God mode.
No, they haven't terraformed. I believe the government have terraformed, and Brabus are taking control of building all of the houses on it. So I like that. Pokey Brabus started out with like, we'll just chuck a big engine and Merc. Ooh, maybe we'll mess with a smart car. Do you know what? Build 17,000 luxury homes.
So I've found an article title from a website I won't say.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't.
Brabus has modified an island.
There you go. Yeah.
Beginning construction later this year. Brabus Island is a collection of luxury properties in Abu Dhabi and will open in 2028.
The contemporary house is fitted with the turbocharged 2-litre engine.
Your hotel room will do 3,000 miles an hour. And they could market it, judge how fast does Earth spin.
Yeah, you're easy.
Yeah, fastest hotel room. Every home on Brabus Island will have a highly customizable interior. You can go and spec your house.
Yeah, can I get Alcantara on that, mate?
Oh, any like purple bits in the sort of crevices and stuff. You get like floor mats and stuff. It looks interesting. Oh, so all the images just Brabus's. Oh, that's not Brabus.
What's that?
That's a Cullinan. Unless there's a Brabus Cullinan.
Anyway. You never know with Brabus.
That's kind of wild. Obviously, yeah, it's Abu Dhabi.
Oh yeah, Brabus always on some bullshit.
Yeah,
they're just like, smart car. Yeah, make it cool. Just random stuff. Island. Yeah.
Next up, Brabus Mars project. Brabus has modified an planet.
Brabus has modified the Mars rover.
And then V3 will be just an entire sort of galaxy or solar system.
Invest in Brabus now.
So that's about it for news. Again, worth noting, there are other pieces of news.
Always.
We just don't care about
all of them.
And if there is one that we care about or should have cared about, let us know. Yeah. And we'll talk about it in 3 weeks when it's not relevant.
Speaking of, wasn't there something to catch up on from one of the previous podcasts? The Lotus Europa tail lights.
Yeah, sorry, I have to sneeze. You may have to cut soon.
Will's not going to sneeze.
No. I think we're good. We're good. We can carry on without cutting anything there. Europa, our problem has been solved.
Yes.
The Europa lights we spoke about last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We found a Europa S.
Lotus Europa S, which was built from 2007 to 2008. Not the old one.
121.
Yeah.
And we said, surely the tail lights from that vehicle are from something else.
Yeah.
So Edwin, Taylor, and I sat in the war room back there for 10, 15 minutes trying to figure it out. Couldn't find anything. Gave it to AI. Didn't give us anything. Well, actually, no, it did. It told us it wasn't from an Astra H. And then it admitted that it was a guess, and we have officially given up on AI. After lots of comments about people saying, they're actually from an A-type. They're actually from a Lotus Escrongle A1. That's the old one.
Yep.
The new one, confirmed
From the horse's mouth.
From the man's mouth himself. I'm just going to scroll to his message. His name is Mr. Ryan D9338. The Lotus Europa rear lamps were made by a company based in Aldershot
Just down the road.
called Perry Lighting, P-E-R-E-I, that is Perry Lighting, and are unique. I was a design engineer there.
There we
I
go.
also worked at 47 Accessories team. Just throw a little one in.
His
there.
name, quickly?
Ryan D.
Ryan D, you're creamer of the week.
Cream of the week.
Because
You've solved a great problem.
You know what? You've actually put my soul at rest.
It could be lies.
It very much could be lies, but you know what? I don't care. I'm going with it as gospel.
So we'll take that. We can now settle that issue.
That's
move
done.
on to the next thing we find.
Yeah.
There were some good ones in the comments. Maybe next week we will go through the comments and see
what some random ones.
Who had the? Maybe they will then be the creamer of that week.
Oh, whoever has the best
If they
one.
have the best, if they can find one that we didn't know,
Exactly. That's, I think, the crux.
or were most surprised by.
Yeah.
Something like that. Europa light solved. Interior light bugs.
Okay.
I would like to talk about that. I realised this while cleaning this green guy, because we had a leak in the roof. So Jay, videographer Jay, removed the sort of dome light cluster. Bugs.
Are you going to ask how do they get in there?
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 I've thought that so many times. I remember taking one out the 8 series and looking inside and there were like 50.
How do bugs get in there?
It's sealed.
Also, a range of bugs.
Yeah.
There's spiders, there's ladybirds, there's flies, there's wasps. Wasps? What's a wasp doing in there?
Is it because they were bugs? Sorry.
Okay.
That's a crazy one. Hold
There's
on.
a bug
Hold on.
in
You
there.
might be onto something.
There's a
here.
bug in the system.
Is it because they were, what do you call it, larvae? Were they laid inside? Were they small?
But singular?
But
like
I
some
don't
kind
know.
of
How would you
random
lay a
egg?
bug in there if there wasn't a bug in there in
Mate,
the first place?
ask a bug, mate. I don't know.
It's a bug's
Should we get
life.
a bug as a podcast guest?
How'd you get in there?
I reckon it flew in.
But here's the other thing. Have you ever seen one in there alive?
Not in a car. I've seen one in like one of these alive before.
Yeah,
like
but
those.
you've never, like, for how many that are dead in there, I've never heard.
No, that's just Ben Squeaky Bushings at the rear.
That's nice.
But have you ever spotted that?
I reckon, to answer your question, they just flew in there.
How?
But how? It's a
in the
sealed-
roof
It's not
liner.
sealed, is it?
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Okay, hang on.
Well, the bugs
Right.
are in there. The
How
proof's
did
in the bugs.
how did a bug get in my roof?
I don't. It's one for our context. It flew in there. It
How? No, but where did it
likes
fly in my
light,
roof?
So it's hanging around the light long enough. It's going to find a way in, isn't it?
Yeah, but there is
a way,
literally no
guys.
way.
but it's not-
You literally can't even get you can't get a piece of paper down the side.
Tell that to the bugs, isn't there?
It's not like Stranger Things where a hole opens up and it goes through a different dimension.
It's a portal to the interior light.
No.
If you took that system out, it's quite well sealed.
It's a bug. It's got in there. It's small.
Oh.
No, but that's not a good enough explanation.
Bug-
But it happens. It's happened. They
Bug-
just flew in there.
Bug confirmed for next Mission Impossible.
It flew in there.
Or
It didn't just walk in there.
Well, it probably wouldn't walk. It might crawl in
But I
there.
want to know how.
Yeah.
bugs
I've
walk or
I've
crawl.
had it previously on a upper rear brake light, your third brake
Yeah.
light that was in the rear window, which is like pressed up against the glass. There's a wasp in there, dead.
How's he done it?
Dead. How did you get in there? How did you Harry Houdini your way in or out of that thing? Also, not nice for the bug.
No, tough life.
A bug's life, perhaps. A bug got in there and went, I'm just going to die here.
Well, I guess I'll
also,
die.
it gets very hot,
Yeah,
depending on the bulb you
He
have.
probably died doing what he loved.
that's true.
Being a bug,
You know
In, like,
what?
with lights and stuff. They really like lights,
you
don't they?
think they'd like that? Sort of starving
Genuinely,
to death next
bugs
to a hot bulb.
all bugs like light.
Oh.
I've learned this. If you got a bug in your room or something, you want it gone. All you do, turn the light off. Turn the light off in the next room. It would leave.
Explain the spider then.
The spider.
Spiders like lights? Don't think so.
Don't know.
Oh, you like your light?
No,
Most
there was actually a dead spider in there.
most sane TDC tangent.
But anyone knows anything
About bugs.
anything at all about why bugs are in interior lights and why are they finding a home in there? Is it like mice when they go and find an engine bay? Is it warm? Are they getting out of the cold?
I think it's light at the end of the
But
day.
yeah, genuinely so many bugs fell out of the Jag. The stuck van is out.
The stag van.
Sort of news, but not really news.
Funnily enough, because I just got randomly served this on Instagram or Facebook. It was one of those BBC news articles where I was scrolling and I just said, a van that has been stuck inside a London lift. And I was like, hey, what? And I scrolled past it and went, whoa, that's my van. That's the guy.
Free my guy.
Free my van. So watched it, and yeah, they got it out finally. He was released. No, he's no longer in pen. He's out.
He's out, but is he? Are they pleased about it?
No, they're not pleased. They're still trying to sue the people.
Aren't the company like refusing to comment or something?
Yeah, the company are like, nah, it's tough to say, mate.
I had my girlfriend updating me on it. She was like, "Did you hear about the van? It's out." Yeah.
In local news legend, everyone, yo, the van's out.
Van's out, yeah, but they're not pleased about it. Oh, God. The saga continues.
I'll never end with these guys. So
van is out, man. A bit closure.
Yeah, I think we need to go and take something there.
Yeah, I think we're going to leave a little something.
It's the Cadillac, then. Oh, no.
If you are the van owner or the company that owns the lift and you want to comment, we don't want you on the podcast. We just want you to comment.
We just want you to comment, and we'll probably just make fun of you.
Yeah, fair. Anyway, Ben has put 730i Hertz here. What does that mean?
A man sent me a photo of a 730i hearse.
Excellent.
Nice.
And next
one. Cool.
Can we?
Now, what generation is it? It's an E38?
Sorry, what the hell?
Let me see that now.
I don't believe it. All right, what are the odds?
Here we go.
That this is fake?
No,
it's come from Ben.
You know what? I bet you it's... Is it old looking, Ben?
Is it Ben's misinformation of the week?
Oh, I think it might be. It feels like that.
Here we go.
Is it Volvo Square Boys?
Is it an E38 or is it an older guy?
So this was sent from a man called Dylan B.
Benjamin, just show us...
No, it's a 730 E32.
Okay, yeah, fine. Yes, well, no, that looks real. There is, is there other photos?
That looks awful.
Hold on, is that on M parallel wheels?
Yep.
Crazy. What's much cooler than that, though, is that there is an E32 wagon that was built, and there was one, and a guy, it was like a concept type thing that was presented to BMW, and BMW were like, yo, this is kind of neat. We're going to do this. So they commissioned the car to be built, and one was built, and then they went, on second thought, we don't want to do it. So there's one in existence, and some guy buys it. I think he's in Sweden. He bought it, and he just dailies it, drives it around. Just the only one in the world. He's just chilling. What's it with people over there and dailying one-offs?
Yeah.
The guy with the M5 with the Volkswagen W10, just driving it.
Oh, is that a man dailying that?
He's not dailying it, but like it's driven around.
Just driving.
Crazy.
I don't like that.
The reason I put it in there, I just thought,
no.
whence either of you perish, I thought that's the sort of thing that you might fancy.
No, I won't be.
I think when I die, I put my money in a grave.
Okay, that's cool.
I would like to be Murcielago.
Oh, lovely.
How you
also, it doesn't have to be a hearse. I could be in the trailer in the back.
Could I be fed into the intake of Murcielago as it's doing a run? Cremated. Not whole.
I'd like to fuel it. If you could turn me into a combustible fuel.
Sorry, that's the second time you said that today. We had this conversation earlier about death, kind of crazy. And Will said he wanted to become petrol earlier on.
Yeah, make me like dinosaurs. I'd like to become
Detroit,
which means probably just put me in the ground and eventually, I don't know.
Oh yeah, couple bill later, you're coming like dinosaur juice.
Someone's sucking me up someone's probably
into their lip piece,
spraying it into the intake. Anyway, James May's TVR S2. You put that in.
I saw that on eBay. Random. I meant to send that to you.
Yeah, I saw it. I don't know anything about it. Is it just his old car?
It's the one from Top Gear.
It's Gosh. Do you remember Gosh?
Oh,
yeah. The one thing I noticed.
Oh, so it's actually from Top Gear.
It's the car.
It's not just he used to own it or something.
No, it's the one. It's Gosh and Kutun and Liar. Yeah, that's it. So it's the TVR. It's an S2, I believe. Yeah. The one thing. They've changed the wheels. The wheels used to be a painted centre, now they're not.
Let's have a look.
So yeah, that's the only thing I noticed. But you know what? If that was a Camaro or something, I'd be all over that.
I was going to say it's a generation of TVR. I couldn't really.
It doesn't do much for me.
It's up for £9,500.
So any discerning viewers who would like to own a Top Gear, I mean, actually a very cool Top Gear piece of usable history.
It says here it was. I like a misuse of a quote.
Here we go.
Or a misuse of the position of a quotation mark. This lovely, well-known TVR S2 was driven by James May and described by Jeremy Clarkson, quotes, as magnificent.
This thing is as magnificent.
Maybe that's correct. I could be wrong. But yeah, it's in magnificent order throughout. Finished in a gleaming starfire. Oh, like blue metallic paint with contrasting TVR. Yeah, I mean, it is certainly...
It's certainly one of the TVRs.
It's certainly a TVR. This car is kept in my garage and under a dust cover. A dust cover? Isn't that a barn find?
I love those just redundant sentences that people put in car ads. This car is owned by me. It is kept on a earth, and I own it.
And I have it. It's certainly mine.
Okay, great. Thanks for the info.
No, I don't want any part exchanges or silly offers.
Well,
so we got nothing to offer him.
Swap for the Cadillac.
Yeah. Nothing else to talk about on that. Let me move on to the list. We've got next up another one from Ben. Ben's big on the list today. How much fuel?
I had a question about this. When you fill up your car, how much you putting in?
Always brim it.
You brimming it?
If it's a car that I'm using and keeping, I brim that guy.
Fair. No, I don't.
Ever?
I did when I had long commute. But that was literally necessity. I'd have to fill up, otherwise I'd be doing it on time. Now, I'm a half tank kind of guy.
Ooh, okay.
If it's in like the McGann or something, I'll probably put a full tank in. Now, the Range Rover, I'm doing like 40 to... But that's like 60 to 70 quid a go.
But that's the thing, a full tank for you is 150 odd quid.
Probably 120, 130.
Yeah, that's tough. Then I don't think I would.
I was going to say,
but the thing is, like, it's surely like
it doesn't make a difference. But it hurts your soul to see £130 a time go. Whereas the Merc is as much as it drinks fuel, it's actually got quite a small tank. So it's like £60 to £65 for a full tank.
So your brain is going, ooh,
it's just easy
economy.
That's a full tank right there. Done.
That's nice.
And then I say to the petrol attendant, "See you in 25 minutes, brother." And then I come back.
Always bothered me more when I was like growing up, and you had adults or my mum or an uncle or something. They go, "Oh, I got this new car. It's very economical. It only cost me 35 quid to fill up."
Yeah,
it's the size of your tank, man.
Yeah,
you can have a 35. You could cost you £35 to fill up a Lamborghini. It'll be gone in a day. I get it. Most of the time, normally a small tank's probably on a smaller car, but still, anyway.
So Ben,
I haven't brimmed either of my cars for months.
Really?
It's the
X5 though. That's also a big boy tank.
He's 120 to fill.
Nice.
But I do. It's actually very inefficient and stupid. I come here maybe 2-3 times a week, and just every time on the way to work, I just fill the tank up for what it needs for the day, and then I do that.
Interesting.
Because to me it feels. I may get made fun of this. I don't like spending money.
Fair.
No. Ben's wallet is the dustiest thing going.
I don't like spending money. I'm not like I will spend money, but I don't. I had this. I just feel terrible after spending any large amount of money. So I put like £35 to £40 in the car at once. And I do it like 3 times a week. So it's the same price. I could just do it at the start of the week and not have to waste my time. But that's why I thought of it, because I was
fair question.
But yeah. So and then the Clio, I'm putting 20 quid in that guy at a time.
Ben's putting £11 in it at a time.
I always...
Which right now probably gets you about 3 litres.
The Clio's fine, but the Clio I go for a drive-in. So I don't need to put 40 quid in it, because I'm not going to do a 200-mile drive.
But you don't just like to have fuel in it?
Yeah, I like to have fuel. It's quite nice.
I need to get diesel. Thanks for reminding me.
Me too.
Yeah. And you put in another one here. 4 cylinders.
I've just been doing a lot of thinking recently, guys. Long commutes.
Okay.
4 cylinders. I remember when we were at Car Throttle, once again, tough times. Edwin said to me that he hates the sound of 4 cylinders.
Fair.
And I want to know, can they sound good?
Hold.
Here we go.
Did I say that? Or did I say I hate the sound of 4-cylinder exhausts?
That was what you said, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, I think they can sound good.
A 4-cylinder exhaust only sounds good when you do like Subaru sound to it, or it's an old rally car.
I agree with that.
Really?
They're very rare that they exist. Also, it's quite hard to get the variation, I think, that you get with other engines, which is possibly not true, but in my head is... I think there's a lot of 4 cylinders. If you were to...
Your Clio, to me, your Clio is a good example. Your exhaust on a modified 182 sounds better than a stock 182. Yeah. It's nicer to have a modified one. The noise isn't that great. The exhaust, when you hear it going away, it doesn't sound that good, but because we're car people and we're broken, you hear loud car, you go, oh, that's how it works.
Sometimes it's more about, like, it's not necessarily the noise of the 4-cylinder. It's like an economy 4-cylinder that revs to 5 or 5.5 or 6 is rough. But when you have something that revs really high, part of it's in that. Yeah. It's in the fact that you can hear it revving all the way out. Exactly. And then maybe there's a limiter in there, something like that. That's where the noise is.
The closer something becomes to motorsport, the cooler it sounds. Yeah. If it goes to 4 or 5, nah. But if I'm like that sounds like what a race car sounds like. Ooh,
it's
hello.
Like an E30 M3 on a rally stage.
Yeah.
And, okay.
But for me, 4-cylinder intake noise, up there with one of the best.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When you hear that guy coming towards you, ooh, like an EP3 coming towards you.
Oh, yeah.
My man. Jeez.
He big.
So, but fair.
I thought that the other day. I thought, you know what? Do you know where it came from? Do you actually know where it came from? Because I drove through this. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a lane.
It's like lots of houses, like shops and things. I think they call it a town.
Big concrete thing in the middle. I had to put my car on. But I drove. It's like a lane, but it had very high walls. And it's only wide enough for one car. And I was on my clear, and I gave that. Oh, very good. I gave that guy a big acceleration, and the noise bounced off the walls.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? This guy's all right.
But
he sounds like it, but it was mostly the purring of the induction. And I actually out loud went, oh.
A little raspy exhaust.
Yeah.
And because an exhaust and an intake should complement one another.
Heard.
You shouldn't. You can have one or the other. You should have at low RPM.
Yep.
Cruising around town or whatever. Your exhaust should be putting in the work. That's where you want that. And then when you really start to give it some load, then you want a little bit of induction with some notes of exhaust in there as well, depending on the car you have. And then really high up in the RPM, you also want that same thing. Induction giving it the beans, and your exhaust giving it the beans in perfect harmony.
This gentleman behind us, the perfect example.
Oh yeah, he's been
completely stock exhaust. Yeah. We went for a drive. All the supercharger noise,
but not much exhaust at all.
Pulled the back boxes off. Where'd the supercharger go?
All exhaust.
It's just an NA car.
I did the same. I straight piped my old Focus ST years ago, and that was when I bought it. But it had like an aftermarket exhaust intake, blah blah blah. I had a nice amount of exhaust, and I could still get a little bit of turbo whooshing noises and blow off noises, blah blah blah. I straight piped it.
What was the name of what you put on it?
Oh, Section 18,
which is.
Do you
know about this? Do you know what Section 18 is in police terms?
It's a GBH.
Oh, that's actually.
There's a Section 59 exhaust which had a back box,
which is antisocial behaviour.
Yeah, it's like when police tow you to sort off basically.
That's quite cool.
Yeah.
And then another company came out with a Section 18, which is actually just a straight pipe.
It's just a
one of the loudest things I've ever heard.
I have a video on my phone from many moons ago of Will coming to pick me up to go and look at an Audi TT, and I could hear his car. This is only for the people in this room, essentially. You know, at the bottom of the hill when you're coming towards my parents' house, 1.5 miles to 2 miles away? Yeah, I could hear him turning into the road. 2 miles away. That
exhaust, I had a nice exhaust on my car once. And amongst like Focus ST and Focus RS people, the Section 18 was like it's the one, especially if you're young. And I never really wanted that exhaust. So the thing, that exhaust has no back box, but it does have a very small resonator. So you maintain some tone. But my mate, Robbie, he had a normal exhaust, which had no middle resonator, but it had a back box. A nice balance. But him being, I think, 21, 22, was like, I'm going to cut the back box off. And I said, this is a really bad idea. This will now be a straight pipe. He's like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be just like a Section 18. So fine. So he did it. Maybe 4 weeks later, I remember getting a message from him saying, my dad's going mental at me. Can you swap exhaust with me, please? Because he used to get up every morning at like 5 to go to work. He made these contraptions out of 2 paint pots.
Yeah.
Paint pots filled with, I think they had like, I can't remember what they had in them. But he'd then strap them over his exhaust, drive them down his road, and then take them off at the end of the road. Because obviously a cold start was obscene.
Yeah.
We just had, I think, someone drilling into a safe out there.
That's some cleaning.
Anyway, yeah, so that was biblical. But again, just you can make your straight pipe thing mistake early doors.
Make it early.
Get it done in your teens, your early 20s, but I think there's a harmonic balance.
There is a middle ground to be had.
Right, so that's that. I actually don't know what that was.
4 cylinders are okay.
4 cylinders, they're okay. It's not hard and fast rule that they're bad.
4 cylinders are okay, but more cylinders are okayer.
You know what?
Put on a t-shirt and no one will buy it.
Our final little talking point on this little list of mine here, something Ben doesn't know fully about. We were talking about it yesterday. We only found out about this yesterday. The title of this is Top Gear Trevor.
Now, shall we role play this out?
Let's role play.
So we have our landlord, Trevor, is just one of the coolest dudes. He's a really nice guy, and we didn't actually know this at the start. He'll waltz in every now and then just to see what dumb stuff we're doing.
Yeah.
Because he knows better and he finds it funny to watch us be idiots. And some point in the early days, he walked in. We were talking to him and he went, "Yeah, I used to own this unit." And we're like, what? He was like, I used to work on TVRs in these units.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, we didn't know that because he's now the landlord. So we're like, okay. And then last night he walked in and I was looking on Copart and there's a TVR Camara. I love Camaras. I said to Trevor, come on, Trevor, surely you want to help us out on this, on Camara. He was like, oh, no, I don't want to do it. But then you could see he was like, yeah, and then he went, if you need to pull the chassis off and do the outriggers, I can give you a hand. I was like, all right, Trev's in. This is good. And he went, I was standing, Will was sitting on the sofa over there. I was sitting in the room. He was just standing on the doorway of the room. He went, yeah, well, they're easy to do. When we built the electric one, that was easy. And Will and I looked at each other and went, there's only one electric TVR. Yeah. Now, Ben, do you know of the one electric TVR?
No.
Do you know what his name is?
No.
His name's Jeff.
It's the Eagle Hammerhead I Thrust or something.
Oh, what, the big square?
Yeah.
Yes. He was built on a TVR Griffith chassis.
Yeah. Trevor just glossed over it, and I sat there for a moment, and I thought, surely that's the Top Gear one.
Well, he built that?
I thought for a moment, maybe it's an electric TVR, and I was like, do you mean the Top Gear one?
And he went, yeah. And then carried on speaking. He went, yeah, they're built on a Griff chassis. Yeah, we had to pull off. And we went, no, hold on, Trevor. You built the TVR, the Hammerhead I. And he went, yeah, well, of course, Clarkson didn't build it. So anyway, I took the chassis. We're like, no, Trev, stop glossing over it. So you had a big hand. He was like, yeah. Me and my boss, we built that car.
Not here. We were hoping it would be here.
We prayed that it was in our unit. Yeah. But we were like, okay. And did you do anything else for the Top Gear guys? And he was like, yeah. We built the Stretch Panda. We did the MG. We did the Tall Citroen. And we were like,
wait, he did the white block of flats?
He literally said that. He said the camper, whatever it was. I was like, you did the tall.
Because he said, no, not here. Again, he at his old company that he used to work with. He said, yeah, we were driving around in the car park, all joking around, like all in the different levels,
trying to knock it over.
And we were like, what the hell? This is, and then fight, and then the piece of resistance. We said to him, were you in the background of any? Because I'll be honest, as much as we love Trev, there was an air I was like, look, this is all hearsay. There's no proof until I see you on that screen, Trev. And he went, no, I don't want to be on the screen. And when I was like, okay, no. He went, but you can see me. I was in the background of the Aventime. I helped build them. You remember the Aventime, the F1 car? They tried to beat the Evo.
Yeah.
The Aventime. He's like, I'm in that one. Lo and behold, pulled the episode up. Trevor's there in the background
with a ponytail.
So
Landlord Trevor.
So our Landlord Trevor, we were like, so this morning we said to him, this is the reason he doesn't care about us. He's big movie star. Yeah. But how cool is that? He had a genuine key role, and when he said building it, he's not like I made teas. He was in the fabrication and building of some of the most iconic Top Gears of all time.
Yeah,
that's sick.
That is cool. I think, he'd probably never come on a podcast in his life. Oh, so we can only ever relay these stories to you as messengers.
But sometimes you'll see him in the background. He gets involved with stuff. You can see him like itching to go like.
He was in he made a brief appearance in a video, only sort of visually, but he was in the Blue Jag video
because he saw us struggling with getting the torque converter off and went, "No, you idiots, come here," and it helped us out. But so yeah, how cool is that, Ben?
That's mad. Do you know what? The block of flats one is the coolest to me because that was like one of the ones that I remember vividly watching.
Also, where the hell did they make that?
Yeah, in a very tall building.
You're not making it. That's what I mean. You're making it in like a NASA launch pad or something.
No, they did it sideways and then pulled it out and lifted it. They erected it at the end.
It's like some kind of Lego model.
But yeah,
that is cool. We've got Top Gear fame among us.
So what we might do is we might have to. We can't go in all guns blazing. We might have to eke out some interesting Top Gear facts or information from when you build it, because that'll be something cool in there.
Yeah. And also, if we ever have a Top Gear-esque silly idea, the rocket limo idea, I should have gone to him.
Should have gone to Trevor. Trevor would have gone easy. I've built one of those.
I'll do that. Pull it in. Put it on. Done by the morning. Get the ponytail out. That's all for our list of things, but not all for the podcast because it is time for something else.
I'd like to interrupt.
Oh, here we go.
What's your want of the week?
Oh, you're going to have to talk about yours. I'm going to have to look on eBay.
Because guess what? I'm going to need to think because I was something. I know what it is. I was on the way here on the weekend. I think I was dropping off the E36.
Okay.
And lo and behold, I looked in my rearview mirror and perhaps long-suffering partners of the people that listen to this podcast, because the sort of people listening to the podcast are car nerds.
Yeah.
Do you hate as much as, I can assume your girlfriend does the same thing, and I know mine does. You're halfway through a sentence and you go, look! And they go, what is it? What's gone on? What's happened? And you go, Cool. That's a cool car.
It's a car.
That's what I did. We were in the car and she was mid-sentence. I went, oh, look. She went, what? And it's a 996 turbo.
Nice.
But with a GT2 front bumper.
Okay.
Spacers. A little bit of lows. Oh, I don't know what it is. Something about
Busting?
a 996 turbo. So I'm semi into Porsches. And I know no one tends to like 996s. I know I technically own the one that we built, but that's not something I would go out and buy with my own money normally. I bought it because it's sentimental, if that makes sense. Yeah. But a 996 turbo, they've aged to me so nicely.
Like fine wine.
They just look so perfectly early 2000s in all the right ways.
It's the only shape of 996 I truly enjoy. That and the C4.
But a GT2...
The wide arch, basically.
Yeah, a GT2 is like bucket list car for me.
Yeah.
And I'd quite happily build a DIY one out of a turbo, just take the front shafts out. I would do the bumper. I'd build a replica. I don't care. I wouldn't put the badge on, but anyway.
Still, you have but the vibe.
I'd have the vibe, the wing, the front bumper. But I saw it and I was like, that is so cool. I like it a lot. And then, please, yours, and I'm going to find what mine is on eBay.
I don't, of the last week, I don't recall anything.
No?
That I did. Well, other than what I said before, I still have a deep want for a C7 RS6. I want fast family dog car, but without family or dog.
Yeah, I just want the car.
Fast RS6.
Ben?
Yeah, Ben's on Candy Crush.
I was just trying to work out what I wanted because I was trying to. I can't think of what I want as a current one of the week.
Do you know? Sorry, just a quick side. Do you know what Facebook needs? Facebook needs a recently viewed where you can see the ones you've clicked on. Because perhaps that exists,
rather than just serving things it thinks you want.
Me going it looks through me going through 1000 E36 and goes, ooh, you know what? You might like a cupboard.
You know what? As I've just opened Facebook Marketplace, this is genuine, and what has just popped up immediately, first thing on Facebook.
Hello, it's an S2000.
And the price is £5,500.
Oh, sorry, meanwhile, cut to that guy. You can't even get a shell for $4,000.
It's Japanese import. It needs 4 panels.
Okay.
That's nice. It needs tracking. It needs a driver's seat.
Okay.
It has a custom exhaust. It's £5,500 or very nearest offer. Ben,
that starts with a 4. That starts with a 4 to you.
He bought it as a project and decided he wants a convertible M3. L for him.
Whack.
I plead the fifth, but what I don't plead the fifth on is my one of the week.
And it is?
Which is, I actually saw a 458 the other day.
We were talking
and
about
I haven't seen one for a while. And you know what? That guy...
They're lovely, aren't they?
If you told me that was a 15-year-old car, which it is. No,
458? 8 or 9?
Yes, he's 15 years old.
So more than now.
Yeah.
He's not to me. That guy, he is 10 years old in my head.
Surely that is a childhood car for you.
Yeah, he's up there with the boys. He's a Aventador.
He's there with the boys.
It's a lot.
So
yeah,
cool engine.
I started off really disliking them because they were single lights, not double lights,
and weird triple exhaust.
And that's not my guy. But as time has moved on, as Ferraris have moved on, 458s are aging wonderfully. Yeah. And a Spider, if you pull up with the Spider.
My problem always with the looks of those, I'm going to call them the base ones, is that there's something like a Speciale or a Pista or whatever. They exist and they always look a million times better.
But do you not still I know a Speciale's cooler, but when you see just a clean 458 just base, do they not? Because to me, they
not compared to a Speciale.
No, because it's the same thing with like a 360 to a Challenge Stradale. Yeah. A CS is oi.
But when I saw that. I don't know if it's an age thing, but when I saw that 430 that I mentioned in the last podcast, that when I compare it to a C.R.E.A.M, I was less bothered by it.
But that's what I mean. That's what I'm like with 458. Yeah. 458, mainly, I don't like the early wheels, the 5-spoke wheels, big nerdy stuff, sorry. The later ones on the Spider, the twisty guys.
Yeah.
Oh, in a nice colour. Can't be red for me, unfortunately. Got to be like the light bluey, silvery.
I was about to say the Chris Harris spec one.
I don't know, but you see a lot of Spiders in that colour.
I think that's what he has in that like icy blue colour.
Yeah,
I like
lovely
that.
colour.
But I think they'll be worth very good. Not now. Well, they're worth good money now. They're £100,000+. But
I think they'll
in the
be
future.
big.
That is the final NA small V8.
They're going to do what Murcielagos did. They're going to sit in the doldrums for a while of people going, nah, and then everyone at once is going to go, ooh.
They also, as far as I'm aware, they don't necessarily have a bad point where unlike Murcielagos or 355s or 360s where although you can get a manual, the most popular option is some horrible dated gearbox.
Yeah.
That has a very good gearbox, as far as I'm aware. I'm not a 458 owner, but that's a dual clutch, proper gearbox.
I don't believe you have to drop the engine out to do the what's called the belts like you do on like a 355. I think they're just pretty good.
Yeah, so I think good ones of those may end up being good money.
So yeah, the main cream listenership, you guys should go out tomorrow and buy a 458.
Yeah, we really recommend it, and then just get in touch.
That's what we're doing. I'm going to go out, buy one of those.
Stonks.
Meanwhile, the $2,000 E36 that has taken all my money.
The E50, the XFR that I bashed an arch out with a hammer.
We are not fit to own cars.
So that's the one. Did I say? Yeah, RS6. That's still me, and you are whatever you said.
458.
458. Nice. I like that.
Very nice. Edwin. I'm a 996 turbo.
996 turbo.
Great, thanks.
Anyway, what I was actually meant to say is, again, I don't like 911s, but years ago I saw a Nagaro Blue GT2 at a show, and that car, ooh.
And I believe that is the car that used to be, it's not a race, it's a rally. I believe that is that car.
Man?
That is Rob Lonman's car. It was crashed, then repainted Oslo Blue.
Oh, is it?
I believe that is what it's called.
Oh, I thought this was a Nagaro Blue one.
It could be, maybe it wasn't a Nagaro, but there is an Oslo Blue, and I believe that is the X.
It was very cool.
Okay, we're going to end on a forum. I have got one in my DMs from a man named Jane or Jan. Jane with two N's. I don't know how it's pronounced. Once again, I'm
Jane or Jan.
That could be it. Once I butcher everyone's names. Sorry.
Bean, that's your name.
What are your guys' opinions on cone air filters? Are they worth getting just for the induction noises? Do they help gain any actual performance, or do they actually reduce performance if they are no longer runoff of cold air from outside?
Here's my vibe. I don't care what they do. I like the noise. I'm as long as it's not cutting my power in half, but realistically they're not. You're going to lose a few horsepower at most. You're not going to gain anything really, unless it's a very restrictive air filter system.
No, yeah.
But more often than not, they make it sound great. A 182, he's lovely. He's lovely.
But when you say cone air filter, that depends entirely on
what type.
Because again, on the 182, for example, you could just bang a cone on the end of the throttle body if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It's gonna go poorly for you. It'll probably run like ass. Induction kit. That's what other people say. That's the other term. Is that's when you buy something that fully replaces your original kit. 9 times out of 10, at least on performance cars anyway, your factory airbox setup is better than pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Like even aftermarket brands that might tell you this is better. Sometimes that might be the case. Some cars do have restrictions because of packaging, because of manufacturing, because of cost or whatever. But a lot of the time, an airbox, it makes sense.
Yeah,
a closed box with a filter in it that has a feed to it from outside that goes straight to the engine. It sounds more effective than cone in, because a lot of the problem you might find with a cone filter is that it's not necessarily that the power you lose straight off the bat. It's that you do a couple of runs
and then
it starts to get heat, so your car isn't making consistent power all the time. If you don't care about that, which a lot of people probably don't, if you gave someone a car, took away the noise and everything, and they probably would never realise that they had a cone.
Oh
on or off
no, of course.
If you took out the noise,
you're not going to know
unless you were basing it on lap times and something like that. It's not going to matter. But for me, it's a big part of it is not like this Jag, for example.
Oh god!
But even though this is a properly made induction kit, which was actually very, very expensive, it's probably not much better.
No, of course not. Yeah, because it's all you're doing is accentuating something that. Because the other thing is that manufacturers try to minimize noise. Yeah. They do not want noise from the engine bay. They want it to be quiet. It has to pass NVH things. It has to pass all sorts of stuff where they have to make an engine quieter to make it sell better. Yeah. Whereas us idiots, go, no, I want to hear.
Yeah. The difference on like this Jag or even the E55, any car between a standard closed airbox setup to an open cone or whatever it is you have it's night and day. Yeah. It's loud and quiet.
That plus a lot of people seem to not know. We've been talking about it recently. Take your felt off the inside of your engine under your bonnet.
Yeah.
You get a big old amount of induction noise come from that.
Lotus sound deadening, anything like that gets rid of it. And also on the power thing, actually, I don't know why I've just started waving my key around like I'm about to start a speech. On the power thing is that you see a lot of aftermarket companies that say our filter adds 3 horsepower, is it's always worth looking at where that power comes in.
Exactly.
Because normally, don't ever expect it to increase your peak power. If you go and put your car on a dyno, it's going to give you the peak power figure. That is the most power. That is the most power that the car made. So that Jag we had, for example, 585 horsepower. But at some point, let's say we're at 4,000 RPM and the car's making 450 horsepower. Someone testing an air filter might change that filter and might go, oh, at this point it makes 455. But the peak power is exactly the same. It's not really, so it's slightly better, but you are never going to notice that.
Which is also in general, something worth noting when looking at dynos in general.
Yeah.
If you're new to looking at dyno sheets, you might look at someone goes and gets a remap on their car and it goes from 200 horsepower to 210 and you go, oh, well, that's not that much. But the peak power is not where you feel the car the most.
Yeah.
If you look at it, you need to look at the line on the graph. Yes, you might have only gained 10 horsepower at the top, but you might have gained 20 pound-foot of torque right in the middle, which is exactly where you drive your car. Yeah. So there are looks can be this evening on dyno sheets.
And numbers bigger isn't always better.
Brackets
Many times it is. I remember seeing one of the first dyno sort of days I ever went to. There was I can't remember where it was. I was actually just watching.
Yeah.
And there was a Mark II MX-5 1.6 that went on the dyno.
Tough.
One of the, why the guy decided to do it in the first place. No turbo, no anything. Right. I think he probably had an induction kit or something.
Was it one of the worst.
I don't remember the number, but the graph was abysmal. It was dead.
It was flatline.
If it was a human, it's dead.
Yeah,
it just went. It came up, because it had to, and then it just went flat all the way to the red line. Just not what you want to see at all.
Meanwhile, MX-5 people are going, ooh, big result from the dyno today.
Zingy little engine, zesty little, revvy little. Really got to rev it out. Oh yeah, you might as well have changed up at 2, mate.
We always find a way to come back to making fun of MX-5s.
Do we mention? Yeah, we've put our band signs on the doors.
We do. We have from our what's called MX-5s are banned by order of TDC,
and that's fact.
And that's a fact.
That is a fact. You will not see an MX-5 in here. Well,
no,
maybe
apart
yours.
from maybe mine, but it probably won't be on camera, so we're clear.
Yeah, it will be in the air.
Oh, there is the beginning of the pressure washer. So I think that marks the end of the C.R.E.A.M podcast, or else you're all going to be very upset. You can guarantee us on that.
Yep.
Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next week. C.R.E.A.M get the money.
Dollar bill. Y'all.
Bye.